rough when these things happen.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I had a similar Friday, but not quite as rough. And then
Yeah.
Saturday was a write-off, and then yeah. Anyway, we're on.
Hey, we're on the internet. Welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons & Dragons. I'm Ben in Kaohsiung.
I'm Tim in Taichung.
And we are Critters in Taiwan.
Yeah, at
we're
least two of
finding
them.
out, Tim, we're finding out more and more. We're not the only ones. There are others out there. There are others.
It's about time to come out of the works, you know?
Yeah, man. We got that. Well, I don't know. I maybe need to walk that back. That Dax the Monk guy. He's been commenting on our stuff. I don't know why, but I suddenly assumed that he was a dude in Taiwan. Maybe he isn't. I forgot how the internet works.
Yes.
It's all over the place. It's not just in one place.
Yeah, you gotta stick with the theys until you know.
Right. And then who was that other guy? There's somebody else. Oh man, I should have had this written down. There's another human. Maybe it's a bot. I don't know. Somebody else jumped in. What was it? What was their name?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah, we're gonna get it for this one.
Yeah, we are. I mean, we could check real quick, but that's not really our style.
No, it isn't. Nope. So yeah, you're cool. Thank you.
Almost as cool as we are.
Almost. Hey man, we've been off for a week. We decided to take that week off, and they did the familiar adventure, the sprinkle, whatever it was called.
What did they call it? Familiar something.
A familiar problem.
Problem, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
A familiar problem.
Which,
the Adventures of Sprinkle and Co. I don't know.
Yeah. Which made sense because you're like, wait, that's not really a familiar. It's like that is the problem. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we should talk too much about it because it was fun but kind of irrelevant. I only have one thing I really want to say about it, was that I love the way that Marisha integrated that epic dock battle from campaign 2 into the final scene. Oh, hey, by the way, if you're not paying attention, we're going to spoil shit. We should probably do some housekeeping, right?
I guess. I mean, someday maybe we won't have to, but
maybe.
You know.
All spoilers all the time. We're going to spoil everything about Critical Role. So if you're not caught up, leave now. So yeah, anyway.
It's getting faster and faster every week.
They kill Vecna and Vex dies.
Yeah, all right. You want to do it for campaign 2 as well?
Lucian doesn't destroy the world?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or Exandria. Campaign 3, yeah, we don't know yet.
Well, that could be, you might be mixing up Calamity there.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Hey, Calamity. We talked about that already.
Whew. We did. That was the last one, yeah.
Right. And then we had the round table. That was on last week also.
Round table, that's what it was called, yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed that, man.
Oh, what a treat.
That was one of the easiest jogs I've had on that treadmill at so I go to the gym, go to work, the other way around. And sitting there just engaged. Like I wasn't looking at the time, how time slow how slow time goes.
I just want to say, man, as a fledgling DM, just learning how to DM D&D, I got so much out of it. Like it reaffirmed a lot of affirmations. Like you're doing the right thing, you're doing this right, you're doing that right, and then some little tips and tricks and just sort of things to think about for what players are going through and what DMs are going through and how to sort of put them together. It was really, really nice. It was really, really nice to listen to those three talk.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't find a nicer 3 to listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot, but
it was
other than them. I think there's Chris Perkins. That's about all I know.
Yeah, sure. For me, I don't know. It was really, really nice listening to the madness of the caffeinated madness of Brennan and the sublimely weirdness of Abria, and then the resolute calmness of Matt. Like it was just 3 amazing people, but 3 completely different personality types.
Very different.
Very different. Yeah.
It's funny because like how it starts. It's funny how awkward Matthew can be, given his stance, But I guess the body dysmorphia, on camera, it's a big thing for him still. I get that, But then like, so he's like, I guess we'll start with this prompt, and then so he brings it over to Abria, and then he brings it over to Brennan, and he's like, okay, everybody's just so serious now, like. And then that just broke the ice for everybody. And then they kind of relaxed and they got to goof a bit, mad goofing.
A lot of mad goofing.
Yeah.
It was fun, man. I enjoyed it a lot. I learned, which was nice.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed that thing. And like to non-spoil anything for you, even though it's just a round table talk, between the three of them, all I sent you was, this is great.
Oh yeah, right.
Because I wanted to say like, dude, I think you would really like this as a burgeoning DM, but I was like, nope, just let him discover that himself.
Yeah, man, what a treat. What a treat it was. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I had a big goofy grin on my face most of the evening watching it. It was great.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I had to pull over because I was laughing so hard when I was cycling home from after the gym. Fucking Brennan, a couple of times at one time. Jesus Christ,
dude, he's what a character. What a guy.
I'm flying by the seat of my pants today. I have seen this new episode twice.
Oh, yeah. Episode 25, A Taste of Tal'Dorei.
They named it that, huh?
Yeah, of course they did. Of course they did.
Why wouldn't they?
Oh, I actually kind of called that one. I was like, they're probably going to call this one Tal'Dorei or something about Tal'Dorei. Taste of Tal'Dorei. It totally makes sense. It's all that happened. It was the whole freaking episode.
Yeah, I thought towards the end they had... I think Marisha said something that was very close to like a campaign 1 episode name. It was something and something. I was like, ooh, that sounds pretty good. I forgot what it was though. I completely forgot what it was. But
all right.
I didn't write any goddamn notes down.
That's okay. We got stuff. I'm sure you got a couple of things we can talk about.
Yeah, I got a couple of things on top of my head.
Hey, shall we get right into the rollies then?
Yeah, let's
do some rollies.
Let's get this moving.
I'm familiar with how a D20 works.
Hey, mine doesn't seem to work well for me.
I got an 8. I got an 18.
I got a 2.
Oh boy. Hey, put them together. It's dirty 20. Okay. Listen, let's start right at the top. I don't know if I'm going to be stealing your thunder or not, but we can have this discussion right off. I choose the wow, surprise. Hey, guess what, guys? Here's a brand new intro.
Oh,
like, man, I was not expecting that. I think I mentioned that to you in a text. I was like, it caught me so off guard, but it shouldn't have, because they keep doing this. They've done this many times in the past. But I think that the fact that they had just dropped the new song and we just were getting used to that, and 10 episodes later, it's like, here's a brand new animated intro. Like, yeah. Wow.
As opposed to like the other ones they've done in the past where they're just kind of like, they have it as one of the announcements. Yeah. And then afterwards they're like, oh man. And then thank these people for this. Thank people for this. They were just like, nah. And they just went right into the episode. And they're all just kind of like, okay, I guess we're just starting then.
And I really loved it, man. I love that style of animation. The blurry pastel sort of colors I don't know how you describe it, but I really love that style of animation.
Yeah, and like as far as the filter or whatever that's on the camera they use to take the shots, like, okay, yeah, that's nobody sat down and drew this out. That's a filter, sure.
Yes,
but
exactly.
The surrounding animations was created by some artist or some group of artists, and that was just glorious.
Yeah, it was a new animation firm too. They flashed it on the screen, didn't recognize it. Shout out to you, whoever you are. Again, probably should have written that down.
Names. Fuck.
Today is definitely a day for forgetting names. I actually probably could pop it up, but I don't think that's. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
He's on it.
I'm on it.
Yeah, it was a complete surprise for me. When they, like you say, like they do this all the time, sure, but it kind of gets me a little worried about what somebody said in the past. It was like a comment on a video or in the chat or something. They were like, I know it was on Reddit, and they were like, really hope that they're taking time, like taking their breaks, But clearly they're shooting animated videos and filling up their fucking schedule, and like they have their careers on the side as well. Like,
They did. They are on vacation right now, or some of them are. They're in. I think we mentioned this a while ago. They're in France right now. A bunch of them. Sam Riegel and Laura and Travis and a bunch of others. I follow their Instagrams. They're in France. It's weird. Like they're posting pictures now. That's not always totally true, right? Sometimes it's a trick because they do the trip and then when they finish the trip, then they post it. Their things, right? So it
does ring a bell.
Yeah. Anyway, it's Minnow Mountain is the animation firm.
Minnow Mountain.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, fucking great shit, man.
And then, of course, the song written by Sam and Peter, his brother-in-law, which is
man
epic.
Going into the because I rewatched that thing. I was drinking. That was Friday night, so Saturday morning for me because I was up till about 7 Saturday morning. Not drinking. I was just trying to sober up before I went to bed so I wouldn't feel so shitty on Saturday.
Okay.
It helped a little bit, not so much though. But I just sat there, I just went on Twitch, just back, 90 seconds, 90 seconds, 90 seconds. I watched it over and over again. And it's great, but eventually I pulled a Ben, and brought the chat up, just to see what people would be saying about it. There was a lot of so unexpected. Oh my God, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then you see this one person saying, it's too bad they kept the same song. And it's like, get the fuck. I don't know what I was expecting.
Chat, though, man. That's the best part about chat is that when you see somebody say something so dumb, it's borderline trolly, but maybe it's true. You never know.
Yeah, somebody damn it. I never think about that. Maybe it's trolly. Maybe it's a troll.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man, maybe it was a troll. It just okay.
Well, it got you.
It did get me because I'm just like. I'm sitting there just like, I love the intro song. I love it, So I'm sitting there with this new animation. I'm like, oh, God, this is wonderful. It's beautiful. Over and over again, just watching it, just appreciating each little angle, each little corner, really going for it. And then I see that and I'm like, you just fuck off. Like,
Yep. So when it comes to the anime, the new intro, the whole thing, I have something I do want to say about it. It's slightly critical. It's slightly confusing. And so maybe you can clarify it since you watched it so many times. Okay, so
Sure.
I jotted down. Matt gets the intro, so he's up first. He's got his book, and then he claps his hands and the dice erupt.
I wish there was something with the clap.
It's okay.
Then
Laura goes. She rolls the D20 and bounces around on the D20, and she's got that sort of fiery sorcerer vibe going on, the Imogen vibe. Then Ashley as Fern.
Very playful girl, jumpy aroundy,
Yes.
Yeah, very,
Then Ashley comes on as Fern, and she gets 2 fucking Fern moments. She flame whips the thing and it explodes, and then she gets the horns and the flower. And that flower turns into the gem, which then Taliesin turns into Ashton and destroys it with the hammer. Travis, this is also okay. Sorry, I have another weird one. Travis comes in with a shield.
Yeah, some kind of a.
An arcane shield. Yeah. Do you know where that came from?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's. I think that's what I meant when I sent you that text. It was like I'm a little confused about Travis's part.
Right. Grog didn't have a shield. Ford never had a shield. And because he uses falchion, they both use their weapons one or two-handed. And Chetney is a werewolf, blood hunter.
He's a blood hunter rogue,
Yeah, so I was confused about that. Then he does have that moment where he transforms into the werewolf, which I thought was pretty cool.
For a moment, yeah. The hair.
Then we go into them playing at the table. And this is my point. This is my question for you. Why the fuck is Sam riding a sword down a mountain as a snowboard? What does that have anything to do with any of his characters?
He did it well. I mean,
sure.
He did the acting well.
Yeah. But where is FCG there?
I mean, same with Laura's part. I mean, I didn't really get any, sorcerer's vibes from that. She's just like hopping around little things,
Well, here's the thing. When they at the outro, when they're all done, when they're wrapping up the song, they're all doing the big group stance all side by side, and she's playing with fire in her hand, and she's got her sorcerer vibe. Everybody else has something to do with their character. Taliesin has the Ashton's hammer. Marisha's fingers are dripping ink. Liam's got Orm's sword. Ashley has Fern's a staff, the big staff. That's right, the druidic staff. Except for Sam. Sam has nothing. He's wearing the only thing I could get out of it was that his Hawaiian or the shirt had lightning bolts on it, which was like, is that electricity? Is that supposed to like symbolize? Oh, and his hair was kind of coiffed up like FCG's those three little prong things that stick up for FCG. Other than that, I was like, what the fuck, Sam? Like, what are you the, I don't know.
I think it was like maybe 30 times in where I realized, like, after, at that last one where, Marisha stands up. Ooh, I loved it.
Oh, that was good.
That was pretty hot, man.
Yep.
The whole thing, like, that whole part between Liam and Marisha. Whew. That was good stuff. Watched that a lot. And then when they went to the, and then she stands up, and like, I think they said friendship will rise. I think this is the lyric.
Sure.
Or rise from the whatever.
Yep.
He stands up, and then, it comes out from her. And then, like, even though Sam was wearing that, like, blue-red, just fucking, was it blue and red? I'm pretty sure it was.
Yellow, blue, I think.
Very loud shirt, whatever it was.
Yeah, very loud.
Didn't take any focus whatsoever. Like, my eyes did not go to him at all,
No,
because it started on Marisha, and it kind of just went over to, check everybody else out. And then when, Travis does this, just looking at the animation, like, they put some very flattering shadows on those arms,
Yep.
Not saying he's not a muscular dude, but, hey, they made him look pretty damn good. Everybody in the video.
Yes.
And I noticed, I was like, I didn't fucking notice Sam. I looked at him, and same with you. Same as you. I didn't notice anything.
It's weird. I may be missing something there then. Like, there may be something that's off about, or that's on about it that I didn't notice or can't think of. The only thing I could think of was like the coiffed hair and the electricity. It's like, his shirt pattern is almost lightning bolts, which is electricity, which is automaton.
I guess automaton adjacent, perhaps, but he seems pretty magically based. So, to have electricity going there, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I didn't really the direction. I guess we'd have to ask the director and be like, wait, so why are these characters like doing something character based? Why is Travis doing something character based and not character based?
Yeah.
What was the feel here? Like, who's?
Who knows? Did they all just sort of, was Sam, did they all have their own say? Like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And Sam's like, I want to snowboard on a longsword.
I mean, yeah.
Why not?
He's always taking his trips to fucking Aspen and shit,
That's also true. That's also true.
Maybe they had their own real say,
Maybe. Yeah, but that's what that was my sort of take on it. I'm like, yeah, cool. Nice job. I enjoyed it.
The if somebody did the what do they call it? A histogram? That might not be the right word, but that's the word I'm looking for. Of how much time spent on each person. Like Laura and Travis, like they get a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I guess Marisha does too, but I guess it makes sense in the video.
Ashley gets a lot too. And technically Matt gets twice, so I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think about Matt. He gets the beginning and the end, but that makes sense.
He gets the beginning
as well.
and the end. Sure.
Yeah. But like Laura, they got Laura, and then she does a very charming, roll of the dice.
Yep.
I don't know how she makes a roll of the dice so charming. And the way they did her hair was really nice too. It made it look real nice. Just kind of like a childish kind of jumping around kind of thing for quite a while. And then
I got Jester vibes out of it as opposed to Imogen vibes.
Same, yeah, and also with Ashley too.
I got Yasha vibes instead of Fern vibes.
Swatting that thing and then just like turning very dramatically. With the it was very Yasha-y, and then Sam was just fucking Sam.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe it might come out in the Four-Sided Dive coming out tomorrow.
It is tomorrow morning here. Yeah, it'll come up tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Sweet, got something to watch tomorrow on the treadmill.
To watch. That's right. Yeah.
That'd be interesting to know if they had their own say in it. And like,
right.
If that is the case, I'm wondering about Travis being like, yeah, I want a little more time than other people. So that'd be like, that doesn't sound like Travis, but
no, his
part was largely just, it was some weird shield thing, and then raging seemingly, and then
Well, I think it's
werewolfing.
the transformation, and the rage was the transformation into his werewolf form, right?
Sure, but it went a really long time,
Yeah,
because like it like did one, and then it did a little, a clip change, and then it did the werewolf stuff with the teeth and all
right.
that.
Yep.
So it was like Shield,
The eyebrows.
with a big smile on his face, like intense smile, and then just like rah, and then rah again, or continued rah. And I'm like, that's a lot of time on Travis for, you know. Laura's made sense. She's hopping around, childish, playful,
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like Liam got the real short end of the stick on that one, because he does a little bit of sword play and then he's done. It's real quick.
Yeah. It did hit me hard though, because it's at that epic part where the backups come in on the second time through, and it's just like this high female backups, and he catches the sword with that it's kind of a smug grin, but Orum's not smug. It's more proud or something. I don't know. He just does a little thing and then stabs, and but that's Orum, not stealing the spotlight. Just, I don't know. I'm curious.
I got some things about that later on about Orem that I'm still trying to figure out, get a take on. But yeah. Anyway, that's maybe for later.
Yeah, I'm curious if they got to self-direct, Mm-hmm. That's a good point. No, I didn't think about that. This is kind of weird. It seems a little incohesive now that you mention it.
Yeah, things were. It was. Yeah, it feels like I think that they were just sort of like, hey, what do you want to do? 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 Okay, we're all going to do these things that sort of feel right for us, and then put them together.
Yeah,
maybe
seems that way.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, seems that way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think you might be right. Or you're onto something there.
Sure. Oh, sorry.
I feel you with that yawn, dude. Today and yesterday have been.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, man. Beginning of summer, it's rough.
Yeah.
Hey, so I've got that's me. You got anything else you want to say about it?
They were kind of buried in that one,
okay.
Yeah, the ESNs were kind of peppered throughout that one. So I think it'd be another rolly time, man.
Let's do another little rolly things.
All right. Ooh, other end of the spectrum. Hey. 19, motherfucker.
Well, that's a 7 for me.
Okay. All right. Now I'm flying by the seat of my pants at this point. I didn't have the wherewithal to write shit down the first time I watched through, and then I watched the second time through yesterday after work, and then I had a meeting yesterday, not a meeting. But I do have ideas on top of my head. There are a couple things that we saw, so let me choose something. Should I go with the episode, or should I should go with the episode? Okay. Ishii was there. Okay. I'm going to bring this up. First of all, the episode was so easy to follow, and it didn't seem like anything was cryptic. It was kind of spelled out. It was very, very easy to follow. Like, not a lot of weird questions, not a lot of new information,
Couple of new things, couple of little tidbits here and there, but overall, it was very straightforward.
Yeah. And so in that, especially after the second watch through, I'm just like, well, yeah, hey, well done. You told a great story, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. When Matthew describes the person who picks up the Quokka?
Quokka.
Quokka, is that right?
Can I just throw, that was one of my points, but Quokka. As soon, I just want to say this because I think it's hilarious for me, a little bit of humble bragging. As soon as they started talking about Quokka, somebody brought up Quokka. Laura did. Laura's like, yeah, like maybe you want to be a Quokka, and I'm like, and I hit pause, and I'm like, Quokka. I'm like, that sounds like an Australian marsupial. I was like, I was like, a Quokka? What, South American? Capybara, maybe? No, because she had said capybara.
They say capybara,
like, right. And I'm like, capybara, could it be a Quokka? No, I'm like, no. That's Australian as fuck. And then I pressed on pause, and then sure enough, they bring it up, and it's like, it's this cute little, and then I remembered, it's that fucking smiley animal that the big grin. And I was like, oh, that's a Quokka. Oh, okay. And then I looked it up, and sure enough, it's a fucking wallaby. It's a goddamn kangaroo. Like, stupid little fucking things. Retarded. It's just so silly.
He's upset. He's upset.
They're dumb, man. They are dumb. Well, they even said it. Like Marisha pulled up that
babies.
fact. They throw their babies in self-defense.
Yeah.
Like when they get chased by predators, that's what they do. Like
these animals,
cute. These animals should have been extinct a long time ago. They really...
actually, you know what? As far as that whole cute thing, all right. So I have this friend, kind of, it's complicated, who when they see a dog, oh, how could I? You know, like, oh, it's so cute. It's the cutest thing. No, it's not. It's a dog. You know, but not all dogs are the cutest thing ever. No, you know, it's one of those things I don't really understand. It's like there are cute dogs, you know, and then there's just dogs, right? It's usually based on kind of behavior, you know, like Lacey girl. She's such a well-behaved girl. She's one of the cutest dogs that I know in my current life right now because she's such a good girl, you know?
Yeah, she's a pretty good girl.
That's the biggest part of it. And then you have these quokkas. Oh, she coming up. There you go.
Come on up. There you go.
There's a girl. I know she can never hear me, but she has no idea what's going on. But there she goes. But yeah, then when you mention, or when Marisha mentioned that they throw their babies at fucking prey to keep them away, like I'm like, maybe they're not so cute. Like, yeah, they look cute, but fuck that. Like, yeah, you can look cute, but be a dick, you know. And you just kind of you lose a lot of points with that one, man. Like, you're gonna sacrifice your babies for your own life. Like, what the fuck is the point of your life if you're throwing babies? Like that goes against evolution. I don't know why you exist.
It's weird, man. It's like these. It's the same thing in Madagascar, like with lemurs, and there's some lemurs that are ridiculously cute. There's this little the smallest little one, the bamboo lemur. It's about that big. It's super tiny, and it literally looks like a fucking teddy bear. Like it looks like something that should sit in a shelf at Toys R Us. Toys R Us still a thing? I don't even know. Anyway,
I think they're out now, but
no idea. Anyway, yeah, it looks like they're these. And what my point is, evolutionarily, these islands, these isolated populations, create weirdness, real weirdness that isn't found in most other places of the world.
It's like because they have to, so therefore it does.
Yeah, or because they can, so they do.
Yeah, or yeah, those are similar but quite opposite. But same kind of idea. Evolutionarily,
evolution does create a lot of dead ends. But when you're on an island, an isolated island, those dead ends can thrive. Like like the dodo, the dodo bird was a genetic. That was an evolutionary dead end. It should not have lived as long as it did. And then and as soon as the island gets exposed to the rest of the world, there's the dead end.
There you go. Yeah.
Anyway,
I learned after that also with brown bears, I guess, like where they'll kill young so that the woman will mate with them instead or something.
Yeah, polar bears do that too.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's a big deal. Yeah,
makes sense why they're like off and on all the time endangered.
Lions in Africa do the same thing too. It happens at the very, very top, when there's not very many. When you're K selected versus R selected.
Getting up there by apex.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's it saying?
Quokkas.
Oh, right. So they after discussion, whatever, she turned into the quokka, and then the person, don't remember her name if they gave it, but she was a warrior person, and she found
never gave the name.
The first one, and then she had to keep her mouth shut when the second person was like carrying it. She was like,
Yep.
Matthew went into a lot of detail describing this warrior of some sort, like with the braids down like very tight here, or
they're coming back.
The braids, and it's what he does, and it's nothing out of the ordinary. But this time I noticed it because I had time to think about it. It's because he does it all the time, it kind of keeps you guessing. Because he has like characters fleshed out in his head, or he can come up with it on the spot because he's played so many video games and stuff like that, and watched so many movies and all that. And when he goes into so much detail about a character, I go into my head thinking, okay, he's telling a story about the people in the region, for one, with the things that they wear. He's giving a lot of information there of like how how they live, you know, and then if it's a person in particular of like, you know, those braids that go right down here, that could just be a little flare, but you never really know with Matthew.
No,
You know?
no.
So I'm like, I always pay attention to those just NPCs that give them a name and then like give all these descriptions. Some of them get more descriptions than others.
Yeah, man.
You know?
For real. And it suddenly reminded me of a thing that he said on either Talks or in Four-Sided Dive or one or something along those, where it's I'm pretty sure it was Talks way back in campaign 2, where it's like they maybe not Talks, it might have been campaign wrap up, when they were talking about the big choice that the Mighty Nine made, whether they were going to join the forces of the Empire or, which they did, bail out and go to Jorah's. Right. That's the route they ended up going. And time marches on. And as time marches on, the NPCs do different things. It's not static. This is a kinetic world that is always
got to be tough to run.
Super tough. So in that, like exactly what you're talking about, he's got to keep everything. And I bet what he does is he, in between episodes, he's like, okay, they're going there. That means these things on this side are click, 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 click. And he goes all the way down the list saying whether they've moved on, whether they've just stayed doing their same thing, if they've decided to put this plan into motion, which influences this. And he's got probably a flow chart written out that says how things go until Bell's Hells get that thing done. Yeah. And then once they do that thing, then he's got to go through the flow chart again and see how the world is proceeding. Like there's this moment when Imogen sends Birdie, Fern's mom, a message. And as soon as...
That was a wonderful moment.
As soon as Imogen, or as soon as Laura said, I'd like to send Birdie a message, Matt's like, oh, okay, hang on a second. And he takes a pause and he goes through some notes. Whether he's checking, like scrolling through Word, like documents on his iPad or going through, or his tablet device, whatever
he's
it may be.
Creating a character relative to us.
Right.
He's just checking his notes to make sure he's consistent with it.
Exactly. And that's sort of what I mean is like he has all of the things these characters, these NPCs are doing, have done, and will be doing.
Right. Good point. Chronology. You know, like what would she be doing now?
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Because
he did mention that in campaign 2 talks a couple of times.
Yeah, he's mentioned it a few times, but it was
a living, breathing world thing, you know, which cannot be easy to run.
That one caught me a little bit by surprise too, because he clearly set this up with Erica, with Dusk, right? That she has the locket with the parents, and it's like, how did you not think that Laura Bailey was going to use sending? Like that's kind of her jam through 2 characters now.
Through 2 campaigns now, yeah. It's a good point, but maybe he's just making sure. I don't know. Maybe, you know, maybe. Like it had been a month, you know. So maybe he forgot to put that on his immediate ones, you know. But how could you forget that with fucking Dusk right there, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, you've set this up. You've set it up that, I mean, there was
Do that to your camera? You went blurry.
Oh.
That usually fixes it. That didn't fix it.
Let's go here and come back. Hi. You.
I'm going to fuck up my camera trying to fix yours. It should auto fix at some point. If it doesn't.
It's supposed to. Yeah. Oh, well, whatever. What is it focusing on right now?
Not sure.
My microphone?
Oh, it's up close, yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I could see the grains in your mic up close.
There.
Yeah, that's focused there.
Totally focused. And here, come on, bring it back.
Why would it go out of focus? You didn't do it. You took a sip. That's all you did. You took a sip.
Oh, it might have.
Try another sip.
Cheers. All right, I guess that's my life now. I'm just blurry all the time.
Just a blurry person magazine.
It's all good. It might come back again. So like I think that's all. I think that's all. He's got so many different timelines. He's got all these NPCs on different timelines, and he's just got to make sure that he keeps them all clear and what they're doing, where they're going, and what they're going to do.
Yeah. Also, like, you know, like, so the second NPC that okay, so they leave the Quokka in that room and they shut the door. Okay, it starts crying, clawing at the door. Somebody's like, "What the fuck?" Comes in, like, "Oh, you're cute. I'm gonna get you." And that person, he hardly gave like a half a sentence of description of that person. There's a huge difference between this first one and then the second one.
It
But
made
we
me
already
think,
had the picture in our head of what they might all look like because he gave the first description. But it's just one of those things that you gotta like. There was plenty of time spent on this person that may or may not be significant. But I always got to keep that in my head. Like,
I wonder.
It's
if
a nice thing he does that keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, sure. And I think that I think we've talked about this before, actually, about the whole idea of when you introduce an NPC to give a couple of details, a couple of major details, and
Right.
he may have given a couple too many.
It may have just been, Matthew just going off.
Yep.
He does. That's that's why he's good at what he does, is because of that background he's got. Yeah, it's nice.
Mm-hmm. Good one. I like it. I'll throw out mine. In that same sort of thing about the Quokka stuff. This episode, just in general, this episode felt very trolly, especially the first half.
Trolly?
There was very trolly. It felt like the players were all trying to troll each other. There were multiple moments where they were like not chirping, not sniping at each other, but definitely getting little jabs in. From the from talking about when Imogen sends the message, or no, when Imogen is like telepathically talking to Dusk for the first time, and Sam's like, "Well, you can tell because her eyes slowly begin to cross."
Yeah.
and then it's like everybody bursts out laughing. It's like, that's canon now. And Laura a couple of minutes later comes back with, "No, it's not, Sam. It's not." Just like your.
She made it clear. She was out. She was like, "That's not canon." No, was that the one she said that too?
That was the one. She's like, "That's not canon. Just like your flesh tongue isn't canon."
Oh,
and Sam's
right.
like, no, it's definitely canon. I think
they missed each other, It's like they haven't been at that table with this setting in such a long time, I missed it too. Fuck.
It was the and then the other thing I wrote down too about the trolley part is it felt like Matt was trying to make Taste of Tal'Dorei super fucking cringy. Like he did
a pretty good job of that.
He did a great job, except for the fact that they loved it. They fucking loved it.
Of course they did.
They were getting so into it, and Matt's even laughing at himself. Like he started laughing when he was telling that story about the show when they were doing the fighting and they're doing how terrible it was. He was laughing at himself. Yeah, he was laughing at his own cringiness, and I was like, right, he just he was. It felt like there was some weird Inception thing happening where Matt was trolling himself. He was trolling his own homebrew. He was, you know what I mean? Like he was making a mockery of his own campaign setting.
Isn't there a place somewhere in the States, like medieval times or something?
Medieval times, yeah.
Okay, because I remember
exactly what it was. It was medieval times.
It was medieval times, yeah. Taste of Tal'Dorei, but I didn't remember if that was true or not because I think what was it, Cable Guy, where do they go to medieval times or a similar place?
Yes.
So well,
it's not. It's called something else, if I remember.
But it's medieval times.
Yes.
Where he actually fucking gets
Yep.
He's like, "Oh man, take it easy." And you're like, "We don't take it easy here."
Yeah, very
it's been
much.
ages since I've seen that movie, but that movie confused me as far as whether or not that was true or not. But yeah, it was definitely medieval times.
Totally.
I enjoyed it. A fuck ton of it. I enjoyed the shit out of it. That's what I'm trying to say.
There were so many moments when they just felt like they were really, really, really just trolling each other up. Like just doing a big, not sniping, not chirping, not like really trying to get under each other's skin. But there was a lot of fucking little, hey, bite onto this and let's go. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Who was it that Was it after Laudna talked to FCG? Was it Orem? Yeah, it was Orem that like went to Imogen and was like, "Hey, you seem a little off."
Yeah.
I feel like that was taking a little shot at Sam.
Totally. 100%.
Or Laura, or Laudna perhaps.
There were I got this in my notes. There were 3 distinct therapy sessions in this fucking episode, man. It was weird.
FCG is developing, dude. He's turning into Dr. Phil.
Okay, so listen, can we just riff off of this and not do a rollie on this one? Because
fine,
I got a bone to pick with that exact point that you just brought up. It's not a bone to pick. It's just an observation, but it's an interesting one. It's interesting to me. The vibe on this is very odd because this therapy character that he has developed, he said that he's read books, right? Like he's talked about that. He's read self-help books. He's read some therapy manuals or whatever, some how-to books on how to be
Sam
a therapist.
We're talking about, not FCG.
This is Sam, right? And so like this character that he's developed has this ability to be a therapist and sort of he has these lines and he has all of these things, and I feel like it's had a weird effect on the rest of the cast. What I noticed is when they were wandering through the streets, 2 separate instances in this episode where they stopped, FCG stopped to try and talk to other automatons.
Right. Yeah.
And that aspect aside, the rest of the cast.
Did he do it twice?
Maybe 3 times.
Because Imogen did it once.
Yeah, but that was because FCG couldn't get through. So Imogen.
Oh, right. She tried to mind meld or whatever.
So this is my point. Yeah. The rest of the cast characters, they're following suit with this. They're going, "Oh, you can't talk to them. We'll help you, buddy. We'll get you through this." Like I'm really exaggerating there, but that's what's happening. They're really doing it. What a fucking departure this is from campaign 2, where and honestly, we even going back to campaign 1 with Scanlan. Both Scanlan and Nott were regarded with so much suspicion and often derision and cynicism and a lot of negativity. For sure. And a lot of like remember those early incidences with Ford and Nott, where Ford was constantly chasing Nott around and they were kind of sniping at each other and not very trustworthy. And I mean, Nott wasn't a trustworthy character, but neither was Scanlan, really, for that matter.
There's some really good moments in that.
Exactly. So most of the time,
Captain Buttonbeard going down there and he's got buttons everywhere. Fuck this guy.
those moments, man. Those
so
moments.
good.
So there was a lot of like suspicion and cynicism and all of this. You're like not negativity, but a lot of like that sort of ball busting kind of a whatever you want to call it. He's flipped. He flipped the script in this one, where now he's got the other characters looking out for him and sort of helping him out and trying to figure out, like, he's like, we'll find your, you've got a soul, FCG, you've got a heart, you have thoughts, and you have, like, you're a real boy. That sort of mentality where it's what a difference that is. And I feel like it's because
sometimes I feel like
it's because of his foray into the therapist role,
which I feel like is a new development.
Maybe.
I mean, or if it was there from the beginning, it didn't seem to be there in the beginning. But I mean, at some point,
it's definitely developed.
Because he said when there were the 2 NPCs and Matthew had to do the 2 characters and FCG was on the side being like, well, okay, and how do you feel about that? I can't do a Dr. Phil voice, but it was basically he was Dr. Philling. And they were all laughing at that because it was basically this Dr. Phil fucking shit show.
Right.
And Matthew's just sitting there loving it, doing these 2 characters.
Totally.
And I thought that maybe I need to go back and watch them again, but I felt like it started there because now it's not a trope, but it's something that happened.
Yeah.
So now he's just like, well, fuck, I'm going to read some books so I can keep this up. You know, because I think he did say that after that point. He was like, "Well, fuck, if I'm gonna do this now." But are you saying that, like, for example, Orem, who is a very, very support person in general, combat and RP wise, you know, him asking Imogen, like, you know, how do you feel about that? I can't. I wish I could do that fucking accent, but I can't. Are you maybe asserting that he's doing that because he's seeing this behavior from other characters as well, and he wants to be there too?
No,
Because I can't see Liam doing that.
No. I think Liam had Orem fleshed out from the first EXU. I think
before then. I mean, from what he said, he's like he had a backup character in campaign 2.
Orem was supposed to be his backup for campaign 2. Yeah.
Oh shit! And all that shit you told me about with in Zephyra, you know, with like his husband and those one shots and stuff, where like, you know, there's a lot of tie-ins there.
The Dallin's Closet one shot, or not the one. Yeah, it was a one shot. It's kind of
one shot. It was right. Yeah, it was just the wedding.
Yeah, the wedding, which is I guess
you watch that again. I've only seen it once.
That's great. It's a good one.
It really is.
Yeah, the battle at the top of the plateau is spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta watch that again. I'll put that on my list.
Yeah, they're in full costume too for it. They all dress up as they're in character, all cosplay it up. It's great, real great. I don't know with Orem. I think it's with Orem. I think it's consistent. With FCG, I think this is a developing thing.
Yeah. I feel like it's new and developing. Yeah, and I love it. It's great to watch.
It is. You know? The Sam is extremely. We've talked about this before. He's crazy quick. He pivots on a dime depending on what's happening. Like if he feels something is going one way, he can pivot and just fucking shift and change things up and go with it very well.
And speaking of wit, the other person that Laudna was talking with was Ashton.
Yes.
You know, because he comes up and he's like, if you're in potholder territory, then you must have fucked up. You know, like, and like he's got low intelligence, right? And low wisdom. Like fairly, like average, or one of them's average and one of them's low or something.
I think so.
Yeah, something like that. So like for something like that to come up, it's like, well, you don't have to be smart or wise for. I guess wisdom would be a little bit more of a factor there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he's like. I think like, and she's like crying to him, and he's like, "No, don't tell me." And she just tells him, and he's like, "Oh, fucking Christ."
that moment, what a fucking amazing RP moment for Marisha there, where she's like inky black tears, and inky black snot. Oh,
it's nasty.
Yeah, so good.
And he's like, I've had worse on me, but like. I was expecting Ashton to be a little bit more kind of like, okay, no, I'm out. Like, no. But maybe that's because, you know, he is not empty inside. He actually does have, you know, potential feelings. He's not dead inside.
Yeah, I think there's I think Taliesin knows how to play Ashton real well. Like I'm getting a lot more respect for him as a real 1970s 80s punk, English punk character, and the whole idea of where that the whole fuck you attitude comes from, and how that plays into they're not always assholes. Most often they're an asshole, but not always. They're still there.
Well, you know, is it something they say? It's like if you know how to hate, then you probably know how to love, you know, kind of thing. It's like if you're an asshole, you can probably also know where to be a nice person. Like if you recognize terrible people, then you must have an idea of what great people are too. You know. But he's I think I don't know if it's been mentioned just by us, but totally it's Matt Lillard in SLC Punk.
Right.
You know, it really shines bright on that one for me.
It does. That's a good point.
And I don't remember if we said that or if he said that or if I just thought that, but not just now, but if I thought that at some point. Somebody must have said it, but
I think so. Hey, should we do another rollies?
Yeah, let's do another rollie here. Coming up on 50 minutes here. I don't know your time frame.
I got a thing I got to do tonight, so I can't be super late, but I can do a couple more.
All right, cool.
Oh, no.
Ooh, I got me a 12.
I got an 8. You're up.
All right, I'm up. Okay. I'm gonna jump over to the round table. What was it? What was the official title? What did they say?
The EXU round table,
Is
the
that what it was?
GM table, the EXU something table. I can look it up real quick.
We
I
don't know
have
what
the
the fuck we're
internet.
talking about. You can try to just tell us what's up. But
Oh,
it was
not this one.
Abria, Matthew, and BLM sitting at a round table on one side of it. And it's just, if you haven't seen it yet, just it's fucking awesome. Check it out. I'm not a DM. I've played one game of Dungeons and Dragons in my life.
Game Masters of Exandria Roundtable.
GMs of ERT.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. TT.
In case you forget, just remember, GMs of ERT. One thing that man, so Brennan brought it to life, which was wonderful. In the beginning, it was like, let's go with this prompt, and what's your answer? And this is my answer. And then Brennan was like, what are you doing? He's like, he busted out of that. He's just like, okay, now we're not so serious anymore. What is he? He's turning into a... Who's that guy? Fuck. Oh, damn it. I can't remember his name. If I remember it, I'll remember. Comedian with a fucking crazy voice. Anyway, Bobcat Goldthwait?
Oh, yeah, sure. Bobcat Goldthwait or what's the guy that just passed with Gilbert Gottfried?
Gilbert Gottfried. That's the one I was actually thinking of.
There you go.
He doesn't sound anything like him. But one thing he mentioned.
Similar mannerism.
Oh, yeah. Similar kind of timbre, perhaps. Timbre? What was he saying? Okay. You and I have both kind of loosely stated, we're like, oh, we watched EXU, the non-Calamity EXUs. And we're like, yeah, interesting. I watch them for canon, but it's, not really I'll have it on the side and I'll do something else as well. Sure. It's like, yeah, not for us. Us individually. But then Brennan said, and this is in my pocket, so I'm either cycling or working out in the gym or something like that. And he says the first time that she GM'd at D20, Dimension 20, that she said, and what you don't see, and then his description of his reaction to it, he was like, and my head popped off, turned around 360 degrees, said, you can do that? Yep. And then plopped back down on my shoulders, and he'd never forgotten it since. And he's like, I'm going to steal that, and I'm going to use it. His description of that was fucking phenomenal, because I feel like I saw it, but I wasn't watching. It was in my pocket.
Right.
And I kind of wish I paid a little bit more attention to Abria's DMing, just because of little things like that. Like, I don't know if I would pick up on it because I've never been a DM, but listening to other people say things about how she does it, it really kind of...
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. It's a storytelling tool. So like we've talked about this many times, D&D is collaborative storytelling, right? So this is one of those tools that storytellers use, because when you're reading a novel, you're not always just seeing what the antagonist, protagonist is doing. You're also seeing what the antagonist sees and what they're
builds the world. Yeah.
Right. Oh man, I should read. This is one I shouldn't spoil. Is Stranger Things, the new season of Stranger Things?
Yeah, that's not part of this. Yeah,
but it is. Listen, there is a reason I bring it up, because this latest season 4, might as well be a campaign of Dungeons and Dragons. It is so. Really? Have you watched it yet?
I haven't watched 3.
Oh shit. Okay. 3 is a little bit slower than the other 2 were, but number 4 just came back with a fucking fury, and it is D&D through and through. It blew me away how much of a little campaign it was, that what the characters do and what the antagonists, the protagonists, the whole works, like how they work. And so what you're saying is about like what you don't see is this: there are so many moments in this new season of season 4 where protagonists don't see what's going on, but we, the audience, do. And that it sort of reminds me of the same thing. It's like, yeah, it's a thing that I don't think DMs really do very much. Listen, my experience, I've never experienced that. So,
I mean, it seems a little. It's not super. I can't think my fucking words. Doesn't seem supernatural. Not supernatural, but it doesn't seem very natural to do it. Counterintuitive. That's what I'm looking for.
Right.
Because you have players at the table. Like, why would you tell them what they don't see?
Right.
You know,
Right.
unless it's inconsequential or something.
Well, that's what it almost has to be, unless you're going. And we talked about this before because Bria tends to be rule of cool trumps mechanics, or raw, or whatever you want to call it. One of the like. Unless you're trying to do it, it's either inconsequential, it's after the fact, so it doesn't matter, which is inconsequential, or it really does matter, but there's nothing you can do about it anyway. Or you're trying to advance the storyline by making the players react in a way that it'd be like, oh, okay, now you're armed with some knowledge going forward. Now you know what to do when you get to that situation.
Right.
And the problem,
the players can't know that though. Because they don't see it.
It borders on metagaming.
Yeah. You're trusting them.
That's a problem. Exactly. So this becomes a problem. And I think, like, I don't want to speak too negatively about the first EXU, but there were many moments like that where she was giving the players some insider trading information where then they knew what to do coming later on. Mm-hmm. It's where rule of cool almost crosses into it's again where rule of cool wanders into metagaming territory.
Yeah, but like if you're thinking of like what you don't see is the roots of the tree are digging deeper at a very accelerated rate. No way anybody would ever know that, but it would tell I think as Brennan said, it tells the viewers like that something's going on down here, and then later on you can bring that up, and they have no idea why, but we do know why as people who are watching this thing unravel. Yeah.
So I think
to be able to do that as a DM at the table on the spot, or or if you have it planned, that's better writing than I can do, and that's better improvising than I could do. You know,
I struggle to think of how it would ever be relevant at a home game. On stream, or when it's being broadcasted, hell yeah, because you actually have an audience. But when you're doing it at home, your audience is your players. Yeah. And if you're doing that for their benefit, then you're sort of either, well, I mean, I could see, okay, it could be because, okay, you've decided to do this thing. All right, you did it. Now you did the thing, and you see this. And also what you don't see is this. And so it's like this because this because this because this. And there's nothing you can do about it. And now you have a better idea of why the castle was destroyed, as opposed to, and then you can say, well, the players can't come back to you and say, well, why did the castle fall down into ruins? Well, remember when you pushed over that feather? Well, a butterfly wings creates a blah, 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 that shit. So
yeah, could also just be some nice little flair of something, it's like, you don't see this because it's underwater, but their tail actually did this, as well. Yeah. I keep using underwater or underground as an example. But, like at a table, it's hard to say that it would come up very much.
It's very sort of chaos theory, right? Like it could just be sort of the I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think in my experience, mystery is better than full disclosure.
Sure. Matthew says that a lot.
I like not knowing, and then the reveal, and you have to put the clues back together again. You have to work backwards. Oh, right, because we did that. This has happened. Oh shit. So it's, I don't know, it's 6 and 1, half dozen the other, I suppose. They're both good, I think. I don't know.
Did you say 6.5 of one and a dozen of the other?
No, I said 7 of one.
And a dozen of the other.
And a baker's dozen of the other.
Oh, okay. Just making sure you got it right. 6.5 of one, a dozen of the other. I'm like, wait.
6.
Okay. I'll just let it go.
No. 6 in one, half dozen in the other. 6 in one hand.
Oh, 6
half
and
dozen
1.
in the other.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah,
There we go. So now it's totally wrong. All right.
Right.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's all I had to say about that. He had a great thing to say, and Matthew had some follow-ups about her DMing as well, which was really nice to see, because I wasn't paying too much attention, but apparently they were.
Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I got a thing. Is it my turn?
Your yes and yep.
Okay, cool. I'm going completely out of that whole thing, back into the episode 25. Matt gave them this portable hole that like as their what was campaign 1 was the big bag of holding that Grog had. Campaign 2 was the handy haversack that Jester had. Campaign 3 they got a portable hole, which in my humble opinion is the best of the 3. And they're using it wrong.
It's more limited for sure.
No, dude, it is way better. And here's why. It's not a hole. It's a cave. You never use it as a hole, ever. You use it as a cave. They're using it horizontal. You need to put it on a wall.
The orientation.
The orientation changes everything.
Yeah, because you fall in, you can't get out.
As opposed to falling into it or throwing things in, you put it on a wall and then you walk in.
They haven't done this yet?
No. And I keep screaming at the TV. I'm like, you're using it wrong.
I think I just assumed that. Fuck.
So I had one.
Well, no, I'm with you on it.
Right.
Fuck.
My group in this is in 3.5 days, because the portable hole it was first introduced in 3.5, I think. Pretty sure it was. Hey, check me on that. Fairly certain it was introduced I remember my adventuring party, we had one, and it was just like, yeah, I throw the hole on the wall, I walk in, I grab the things I need, I walk out, and then pick up the hole, and that's it. It's a storeroom. It's a portable storeroom. Like that's what it's supposed to be used as.
What's the shape? Is it? He said a sphere, right?
No, it's round.
I thought he said it was a sphere.
It's a 10-foot hole that opens into a 10 by 10 room.
So cubic.
Yeah, with a round opening.
So if you throw it on a wall, does it drop down 4 feet and it goes up 4 feet because of the hole?
That's a good point, but I'm fairly certain that if you put it on the wall, then gravity is still here, so you walk in, as opposed to if you put it there, you fall in.
I can't imagine somebody making it work differently. Where it's like you walk in and you fall to the back wall. Like, what? That's just a dick move.
Exactly. So this is why they're using it wrong. It's not. Using it as a hole is silly. Using it as a cave, that's the better choice.
It's like fucking throw it on the ceiling for fuck's sake.
Or that. Yeah, and then
let some shit fall out.
I don't. Yeah, what happens?
Imagine if that was like they're in a pinch and they're like, I don't know, man, we've got some stuff in there, just throw it up there and just whatever falls out, maybe it helps them, maybe it doesn't.
What you do is you fill the hole with spikes. With like pole arms and axes.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Here you go.
Spears and stuff, and then you throw it over the dragon.
Fucking
and it sticks on the ceiling, and then poof. I don't know. See, I don't think it would work that way, but yeah. Anyway,
I wonder if it would. That sounds like something Liam would come up with.
Sure.
Like, I'm gonna buy as many caltrops as I can find. Yep. I'm just gonna put them in the hole just to fill up some space. Matthew would be like, huh, okay, and then he'll be like, and I throw it on the ceiling just above the thing, and Matthew would be like, I'll let it fly.
Oh man. I got a few more points. You want to do another one, or you want to call it here?
Let's do one more, because I do like the conversation, but I am fucking tired. These last couple of days have been rough.
I know, man. I know. If you haven't figured it out, Tim and I have both started summer camp this week, and it's been rough. It's hot. It's muggy. Really it's humid. It's been raining a lot, and kids are kids. Whatever.
Kids are kids.
Yeah.
The kids are the best part of the job right now. It's just all the prep and stuff that's just
Word.
Anyway, yeah, but that's a topic for another stream.
Okay.
All right. If you're cool, one more rolling and then go.
Got it.
I mean, it's up to you, man, because you got your shit. Oh, that's my second 2 tonight.
That's a 19.
Hey, look at that. 2s and 19s.
There's this one moment. I got a few other things I want to say, but this is one of my favorite little moments. It's just a quick one. It's a fun little moment. I timestamped this one. 1 hour 15:20 on the Twitch stream, so you can go and check it out. It's really funny. It's Orem having a conversation with Dusk, and they're chatting about the Dusk getting mugged in the alley when they first met her, right? When he first met them. I'm pretty sure Dusk is non-binary or gender neutral or whatever.
Yeah, I never really picked up on it, so I'm assuming neutral-ish.
So he says, it's just a real quick little moment, but it made me laugh so hard because it's just super, super, super Liam. So Liam looks at Erica and says something, and they jumped you, right? Insight check. And
immediately.
He doesn't even give her a chance to blink. He just goes insight check, and he rolls. I thought
that was strange because I went back and listened to it again. I'm like, did he just said that though, right? Like, you did this right? Insight check.
Yeah, insight check, and he's like 25. Oh wait, I have advantage, and he rolls a 1. A 1, and he's like, oh, halfling luck, and he rolls another 1. And he's like, well, yeah, but I get to choose, so I'm 25. And Erica looks at him and goes, yeah, they jumped me.
Yeah.
Golf clap. It was just so good.
It's actually also pretty similar to like with what we were talking about before with the hole. Like, sometimes Liam might have an idea to do something and then he just kind of does it and see how Matt reacts.
Yeah.
That seems like one of those things too, where he's like,
many times,
so I've got advantage, so I got this, and that's a 1, so I'm going to roll it again, without asking Matthew, which he doesn't necessarily need to.
Doesn't need to.
But Matthew might be like, well, if I give you advantage, yeah, okay, I'll let it go. You know, like, and I'm sure Matthew would say that, but totally. when there's the Liam Matthew kind of, it happened a lot in campaign 1. It
happened way more in campaign 2 with Caleb. There were so many moments.
Thing or what?
Remember all of the
I'm thinking campaign 1 with the wings and haste and
sure. Oh, there's right.
I did the math. It's 580 feet, and absolutely. Matthew's like, I'll take your word for it, but we got to talk about this.
Totally. Like you're going super raw here with items that I gave you, that don't exist. Like those boots of haste don't exist in this game.
And Matthew's Liam's like, I'm just what's written in the book. But if the boots are not in the book, then
it's Pathfinder stuff, right? Because they come from. I mean, Gunslinger isn't the class in 5th edition. Well, it is now because I think it's in Eberron or something, but it wasn't at the time. And it was a carryover. They Pathfinder, so they carried all that stuff over. He gave them, because we've talked about this before. In Pathfinder, they need magical items to survive. Right, the game is based on magic, whereas 5th edition they gamed the magic out of it, so you don't need magical items nearly as much to survive.
You don't rely on it. Yeah,
you don't have to rely on them. In Pathfinder, you absolutely have to. It's part of the game. But yeah, like I was going to say in campaign 2 with Caleb's character, especially with that keen mind feat. Remember in those early episodes where the DM has to tell me, you have to tell me what time it is. You have to tell me what direction north is. It's like, right. It's like, well, no, the DM has to. And even Laura and Marisha both feel like, you don't have to be a dick about it. And he's like, I'm not being a dick. I'm saying the DM has to tell me. That's part of the
in the book.
That's right. It's those priceless little moments of incredible friendship at a table. The chemistry is just beautiful.
That's very important for a group like this, that incredible friendship.
Yeah.
Because there is patience, and patience can be, I mean, you see it in campaign 1 mostly, like when people lose patience, and it's typically only Matt, but he does a very good job of hiding it. But sometimes you can see it, you can see it a little bit.
Especially when he's
testy,
like, we've done this 100 times, guys. Yep. You're supposed to know at this point. Yeah. You're supposed to know how your characters work. I shouldn't have to keep reminding you how your characters work. He's not saying that, but you can see those thoughts going through.
And what is it like summon Fey being or something like that happened in I'm pretty sure it was campaign 1. It might have been campaign 2. I'm not sure. Summon something, summon not familiar, obviously. Summon some kind of creature of some sort. And then I think it was Sam that says, Matt, sorry, but it does say right here in the manual, the DM will have creatures that you can, woodland creatures. So in woodland creatures,
yes.
and like the DM will help you find these. And he's like, fucking summon spells.
Yeah.
And he gets a little. I'm
pretty sure
still.
That's campaign 1. I think that's Laura. I think that's the ranger, or maybe it's the druid.
It seems like a druid thing, but
it might be. I think rangers can do it too. It's probably Laura or Marisha, one of the two that does. I remember that moment. I know the moment you're talking about. I remember Sam saying that.
That was Sam, right?
The exact. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely Sam. It feels like campaign 1 because of. I'm actually remembering where Sam was sitting at the table.
I feel like I remember a red shirt.
Sure. Speaking of, did you notice? You obviously you did. I don't know how you don't always. Okay, you did see the Burt Reynolds thing.
Yep.
Okay. Because what a commitment to the shirt bit.
Yeah. Hey, when did he wear the green screen shirt? Didn't they say that at one point? Did he actually do it? Because maybe he was just wearing a shirt that, I don't know. I don't know. I thought somebody had the idea. It was like, well, what are you going to do if you don't have that shirt anymore? That came up in Talk's campaign 2.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Like, oh, you could wear a green shirt and they could do whatever they want with it.
Do what they want, yeah.
And I don't think I ever saw a green shirt.
I don't think it's come up.
I don't think so either. Because if you wear a green screen, the pattern doesn't move with it, right?
We would know.
Yeah. It'd be like, Because he's had some fucking wacky ass shirts with shit all over the sleeves and stuff. That cannot be cheap, man.
Well, listen, who knows? I think that's you. That was my moment. What's your last one?
Oh boy, yes, end on that. Fuck, off the top of my head here. Fuck, I don't really have much to say about the critters, the familiar problems. It was fun. You should check it out.
It was fun. Yeah, it was very fun. I laughed at it. It was very fun.
Fucking Heidi in closet.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Maybe I will say this because I have one thing to say about that, and I don't want to waste time thinking of something else.
Sure.
With some of the little things that we had to say about like EXU, non-calamity, the other ones, where it comes up a lot. If you guys watch the episodes, Ben says it's like everybody at the table is a fucking diva. And like, of course, it's like maybe an exaggeration of some, but like everybody's like, no, spotlight. And I think that's one of the things that makes it work. And also, they're really good friends, really good actors.
Right.
Hey, it just makes it work. And then you get an actual fucking diva at the table. It worked out so well.
It was so good.
Very entertaining. The little ink hole, all that shit. Just
their portrayal of that hydrophobic octopus was incredible. It had me in stitches. I will say one thing. The use of the bucket the bucket gag went a little bit too far. It became a little too much. It's like, I'm going to use my bucket for this. I'm going to use my bucket for that. I'm going to use my bucket for this.
What did they use it for?
For everything. It felt like when you go back and watch it, it felt like they were using
probably not going to go back and watch
everything. Well. I just felt like, I'm like, no, you do something else. You don't always need to rely on the bucket. But I guess it was part of the character, so an intrinsic part of the character. So maybe why not?
And in her defense too, I'm assuming her is the correct pronoun.
I have no idea.
Seems that way.
Sure.
The camouflage, like octopuses can camouflage, right? It's like I'm not sure if that's all octopuses. Octopi? I still don't know what word is.
I don't think the giant Pacific does.
Like the ones that I've caught actually with my hands, I don't think that they were camouflaging.
I'm pretty certain, much like cuttlefish, they all can, except for the giant Pacific. I think the giant Pacific can't. I'm not sure.
The ones I've always caught, they're always red. In the white bucket, in the blue bucket, they're just red.
Right.
So, it's like, hey, octopus they can camouflage. And she was like, sure, I guess so. And she's like, I'm gonna camouflage across the road. I'm like, all right,
Right.
now she's really
Yeah.
working this.
Mm-hmm,
It was
mm-hmm.
fun though. Like Laura's voice for Nugget was great, and
The
of course it
best.
was Travis playing
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Sprinkle. How did
Of
we not
course.
see that
I
coming?
know. I know.
You know?
Because he had the voice was there.
Yeah,
He pulled that voice out all the time.
just
Oh,
constantly.
just kill me. Just kill me. I'm already dead.
Horrible sweet darkness. And like when he was like Marisha was telling the story, you know, or giving the setting, and then Travis is over there just like, oh, kill me now, you know, like doing this normal thing. I'm like, Travis, shut the fuck up. She's telling the story, and I took me like 2 minutes to realize, oh, he's Sprinkle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so that was totally welcome, and I had to go back and listen to it all again.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was just being like kind of rude and interrupting a little bit. I'm like, Travis, no one to shut up, man.
The 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 best, I thought the best part was how they were all adults and like all fully grown familiars or animals or whatever, except for Nugget. Laura's personification of a puppy was fucking
It was so good.
chef's
So good.
chef's kiss, spot on, just beautiful.
I love the way that she, not just RP, but you know, the blinking ability. Like, yeah, I think I'm okay. Then like, and I blink.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay,
Yep.
roll a die. Okay, you went this way. Okay, now you're in an alley. And be like, and when she says, when they said like, dude, you disappear all the time. She's like, what? No, I don't. You guys do.
You guys do.
It's like everybody else just goes away sometimes.
As a puppy would think.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It's fucking brilliant. How do you think of that shit, you know? You got to be good at what you do, I guess,
So
eh?
good. Hey, I want to, before I feel like we're right on the verge of signing off here. Before we do, I just glanced at my notes and I caught something that I do want to say, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. Hey.
It's not related to what we were just talking about at all. So there's no segue here at all.
We're bouncing all over the place. We're scatterbrained today. It's all right.
I think that we got our first calamity lore thing. I don't know what the right word for it is, but I feel like we may have got our first little taste of. Remember how they in campaign 3 in episode 25, we got our first little repercussion from lore dump.
Much better word than I was getting. Good.
From calamity. So remember they talked about this. I really hope that you guys are going to use some of the stuff. I really hope that we're going to get stuff from calamity into Bell's Hells and blah blah blah. They talked about that at the GM roundtable. It may be a little bit of a stretch, but I did do a deep dive into it, and I think it is Fern being a princess of the Sealy Court.
Oh.
It's not the first mention of the Sealy Court. It has been brought up, but not like this, not in this way. They brought it up in campaign 1, the Unsealy Court. In the okay, again, I Critical Role Wikipedia'd this.
Okay.
In the episode a year later in campaign 1, where they all took a year off and they described what they did for a year.
Yeah.
Vex, Keyleth, maybe Vax, not Percy, somebody else, I forget who, Pike maybe, came back. They went to the Feywild and snuck in and watched a play at the Unsealy Court. They didn't know that, but when they came back, Percy rolled a history check on it, or a something check, and he rolled high, and Matt was like, yeah, you know that this was the Unsealy Court, and if they had been caught, they probably would have never been seen from again.
Fuck.
So right, so there's a weird little fucking lore nugget there. And then there was another time when it got brought up in campaign 2. Very briefly, it said that in the Wikipedia it was referencing it. I couldn't find it. I tried, couldn't find it. And then it got brought up in Calamity, and then in this episode here. So the detail that the Sealy court was talked about, excuse me, in Calamity, I think this was our first little moment where now Fern is a princess of the Sealy court. This is a big deal.
Well, and it's also still kind of iffy at this point too, because the way that Fern talks, and it wasn't her that said princess first. You're like, wait, so what do they call you? It's like, well, princess, and be like, yeah. And what is Fern gonna do? She's gonna like that chaos a little bit, if it's not true, So like, I'm iffy on the princess aspect.
Okay, that's fine, but the Sealy court thing is still there,
right? Yeah.
And this is like sort of
that for me just went because I didn't know anything about it.
And, that's where else it got brought up in EXU, in the original EXU, when she sees the dark fern, the nega fern, and in that thing, and it's like that's the Sealy court. That was where it got brought up again. So yeah, there's been a couple of mentions of it.
Completely forgot about evil fern.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that, and then now there's this part of it, and it's like it's. I think there's a little bit of a stretch, but I feel like this is the very first one that we're going to see, and there's going to be more.
Shit, I thought I had something from Campaign 2 that had to do with Calamity that came up in this recent 4-shot. But I don't remember what it is. If I remember it, I'll write it down.
There's a few.
Yeah, I mean, Pervon's the obvious one, but...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, I mean, like, with...
Also, Vespin Chloris as well, but yeah.
Yeah. When did
lots of them.
When did that name show up first?
Vespin Chloris?
Yeah, that wasn't Campaign 1. Was that Campaign 1?
Yeah, they talked about it many times, especially near the end when they were talking about the Titans and the Betrayer gods and how Vecna couldn't be stopped because Vespin Chloris had released
post conclave
Divine Gate. Yeah.
I mean, like in the first campaign.
Oh, post Chroma Conclave. Yes.
Chroma Conclave arc.
Yes.
Right, and right in that little nook there.
He may have been referenced even before that, but he definitely was talked about.
Because like around the same time that Vecna was mentioned also. It was like one of the first or second times. Like, oh, Vecna, what? Yeah. That rings a bell. Like before he was famous in the group.
Yeah.
There were some names that were dropped, around the time of Raishon, right?
Matt, I think brought up a lot of stuff in those early days, just dropping names and willy-nilly because it was, he's like, I'm world building. I'm building a world here for you guys and for the audience and for all of us and, for the critters, etc. So there's, who knows?
And Vecna's a classic character, right? As
way before the Critical Role. Yeah, hell yeah.
Definitely wasn't a homebrew.
No,
it's like classic. The idea, there's like a Beholder, and there's also Vecna.
Yeah. And then all the gods. Even all of Matt's gods are all Forgotten Realms gods, just tweaked a little bit for Exandria, for Critical Role. Vecna as well, tweaked a little bit for. I mean, the Hand of Vecna and the Eye of Vecna. Those are old things from way back from that's Forgotten Realms stuff. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Fuck, man. If I remember this connection from Campaign 2.
Well, this is
to Calamity.
Most of the stuff that I get that lore, I have to reference the Wikipedia because it's the Criticopedia. They don't call it that, but it's the Critical Role Wikipedia. Fan Critical Role fan Wikipedia. What the fuck ever it's called. Anyway, yeah.
Crit Rolepedia.
There we go. Criticalpedia.
That sounds a little iffy with the children.
Yeah.
Crit Rolepedo.
Just a pro tip, if you scroll all the way down, if you look for something, search something and then click on it for the Wikipedia, you scroll all the way down to the very bottom of the page, they give you every single episode that it was mentioned in.
So you don't have to fucking
exactly. Okay. And then they're all hyperlinked, so you can actually click on each one, and then it'll take you to that individual episode, and then you scroll. Then you do a quick little Alt F, like the Control F, the search thing, and then you type in the name, and then it'll bring you to the exact spot when it was mentioned.
Good pro tips for everybody out there. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't doing those deep dives, you got to find that info quick.
Yeah, see, that's why I talk to you once a week, so I don't have to do it myself.
Right. Right.
But one of these weeks, you're going to be like, I didn't do it. That was your job. And I'll be like, fuck. Got to reevaluate our friendship here.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, I got to
That's
drop
all.
a piss.
All right. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's shut her down.
All right. Hey, y'all, I'm sure we got plenty of things wrong. And also, hey, it just
I'm
general.
sure we got plenty of things right, too.
Yeah, hey, it's kind of, I would say we got a good 80-20, 90-10.
Little yin, little yang.
We're pretty, hey, we watch the show. We're the fucking biggest critters in Taiwan. We must get a lot of shit right, I'm sure. But if we don't, or if we do, get in touch. All the information is right down there. Just leave comments. Yeah. Fuck, man, the fucking Discord and stuff like that. Like, I don't. Is that a West Coast or a West side of the world thing?
It's a Western Hemisphere thing.
Yeah, because we've talked about that a little bit, right? Like,
there's no Western Hemisphere.
Oh shit! I got a notification like last week. I wonder.
Yeah, I don't check. I haven't been on Discord in ages, man. I don't know what's going on over there. It's definitely a North America thing. They don't use it over here. But
man,
hey,
I see it
whatever.
all the time on Twitch.
We're still on Discord. Yeah.
Still have one, but just I'll have to check that message that I got like a week ago. That was from Discord. Anyway, yeah, get in touch, and we're gonna be back next week with episode 26. Next week a lot more rested. Yeah,
well, we'll see about that, but probably.
Yeah, a little less stressed, I suppose. I had a pretty rough couple of days, just work stress wise.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm all right. Yeah, cool. Well, hey, if nothing else,
I'm good.
All right. Hey, y'all, don't forget to love each other. And is it finally Friday? Peace. Y'all take care.